Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. This is Howie, and I'm here to help you win with money. In this episode of Solving Chaos Gaming, I'm going to be talking about Splinterlands, and I've been playing this since January or so, and I want to share with you what I have learned. So you can see here, I have a whopping 12 packs of Chaos Legion, which is right. It was released right around Christmas, maybe a little bit before. I didn't know how to get in at the pre-sale, so I bought it in the general sale. Got my whopping 12 packs. I was learning how to play with those starter packs. So back then it was pretty easy. They didn't penalize you for the starter packs back then or the ghost card. I did realize I had to buy potions. I think I opened a few packs without potions, so I learned the lesson there. I also learned that you needed enough cards to beat the bots or other players, and renting works fine if you have DEC. But as you move into Browns, you're going to recognize that most bots have a single BCX. Their summoners are level 1. Most cards they have is level 1. And the easiest way to win is to make sure you have some level up cards. When I was playing, there was airdrops, but I'm sharing with you what I earned. It's not a lot. I earned about 104 SPS, and I earned 0.6 vouchers. I did have to rent out cards. I earned a little bit of DEC, but there's not a lot. I used some DEC to buy cards. Here's my whopping stats, $50 worth of cards. You don't earn a lot. Even if I rented all the cards out, you see that I earn about a half a DEC a day. Not much. Since the beginning of the year, I did not earn enough to get one free Rift Watcher pack. I think when I checked was either 55 or 57 or 58 SPS that you needed per pack, plus one voucher. Obviously, Splinterland is very successful. They sold out super quick. One thing I do love about the whole buying and trading SPS is pretty easy to do if you own other crypto or fiat. It's pretty easy. You can see that the provided front end makes it really easy for you to get started into this game. So I do find that this game was a little bit easier to set up a wallet. I have tried other games, and some places are just so hard to get money into a wallet and then attach it to a game. Splinterlands was much easier. I'm still playing in Browns. My average season reward is about $1 a season. I did create this to help you see that most players' experience depends on the size of their wallet. And what I notice is I'm stuck in the small player category. Again, my account is 12 packs, but I created this little chart here to show you what a typical player who spends about $100 will do. He'll buy a few packs, maybe 10. He'll buy some potions, and what he's gonna have to do is he's gonna have to level up a few of his summoners, even to level 2. I mean, that's really going to help you. You may have to level up most of your common cards to level 2 or 3. You may have to level up a few of your epic cards to level 2. And that's going to help you. That's going to give you a slight advantage over some of the bots. So while the bots may have the most optimum cards or the most optimum play, the way you can beat them is if your card has level 2 card of the same card they're playing a level 1, if your card has a higher speed or a higher damage or one extra shield or one extra health, that goes a long way in some of these matches. If you started with $1,000 right around Christmas time, you could have bought 200 packs. Again, I'm not assuming anything about pre-sale. So I'm just saying a casual player who just bought himself 200 packs, you buy yourself potions, you could have gotten anywhere from 4 to 6 airdrops by now. I think you could have gotten about 2,000 SPS by now, which means if you've been playing for the last 9 or 10 months, you could have gotten 15 to 20 vouchers, which means you could have gotten Rift Watcher packs for free without paying for it. And that's why I modeled this out, because the size of your wallet depends on your playing experience. Somebody who has a lot more assets invested will have a different experience. They played for last year. Let's say they bought 1,000 packs in the beginning of January. They may get 2 airdrops each, roughly. That's about 28 airdrops. And then based on all the CPs and everything else, I believe they could have gotten well over 10,000 SPX from all the airdrops from the beginning of the year, which translate to well over 75 vouchers or so. I think you're closer to 100 vouchers, which means you can get about 100 Rift Watchers pack for free because you earn enough SPX for them. But you see, the whales will have a different experience. So why is that? It's not because the APR is different. The APR is the same for all players. The only difference is the more assets you have in the game, obviously APR it's fair. You get the same rate of return. It's no different from a guy who owns 1 share of Apple versus the guy who owns 1,000 shares of Apple. You may get the same dividend yield, but the guy who owns 1 share is not going to be too happy. The guy with 1,000 shares, he's probably 1,000 times happier than the guy with the 1 share. So what did I learn? I learned that airdrops were actually plenty if I had more assets in the game. And that's really my biggest issue. Most of my airdrops were based on my CP points, but really the SPS APR is still over 32. But for me, my account is so small, 32% rate of return on 104 SPS is still a very small number. You can see the screen there. I get 0.05 SPS per day, not a lot. And I think Genesis League, the soccer, could be your second chance. So this may be the time for you. If you think you missed it in Splinterland, you can start saying, hey, what am I going to do different? What you need to do is learn to invest. You got to put more money in to invest early. You need to own assets. And for me, that means I have to buy cards. I got to level them up. And instead of playing in browns, I need to eventually move to silver and eventually move up. Now, I know it's not easy, especially if you're trying to do this on a very small budget. But that's how this game works. They want to give you an incentive to say, hey, put more money in. The more money you have, the more assets you have, the better cards you have. And all of those things will help you move up in level. Obviously, you should play tournaments. Some of these have no way to lose concept, where last place gives you a reward that covers your interest, your fee. So there are things that you have to do. You got to be proactive in trying to figure out how to maximize your experience. So for me, I'm going to keep on playing. I'm going to keep on grinding. It's going to be a long grind, but I hope that one day all the reward cards that I collect from the chest and from the end of season rewards, while they worth 1 penny today or 2 pennies or a nickel or a dime, I just hope that some of these things will 10x or 20x, and I know they eventually will. Some of these cards will have to move up once they're out of print, and once we move on to new cards and new reward cards. Over time, these assets will gain in value. Hopefully you enjoy this. Give me a thumbs up and stay tuned. It'll probably be another 6 months or so before I put out another gaming update on Splinterlands. But until then, have a good one, and I'll see you around the blockchain.